Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am the Poverty Princess. This video is a little bit different topic for me. It has to do with an app. An app that is trending right now all over YouTube, over TikTok, probably Snapchat. I don't have Snapchat. I'm talking about an app called Randonautica. And you might be thinking, well, this doesn't really have anything to do with me, but hold on for a moment. If you have grandchildren, nieces, nephews, younger cousins, then this video may be worth sticking around to watch. Because if you are seeing it pop up on YouTube, and you have watched a few videos about it out of curiosity, you're probably starting to realize that there is some bizarre things go on, especially at night when folks are using this app. So let's get into what exactly is Randonautica. Randonautica is a mobile app that uses a quantum random number generator based in Australia. The University of Australia, I believe, their computer generates numbers. It gives you a set of coordinates for your local area. The idea, because of the pandemic, was to encourage people to explore their area with an idea in mind of what they would like to come across, what they call your intent. The app asks you to focus on your intent. And then once you have ventured, they say to share online, on their forum, on YouTube, or whatever, what you found, how your experience was. Now, the thing is, Randonautica is gaining a bit of a dark side to it, because a lot of YouTubers have been using it and have been followed, or feeling like they're followed, have found some really twisted things. There's even talk that perhaps people from the dark web might have hacked into the server in Australia, and therefore they're playing with people who are randonauting. That's what it's called when you go into the Randonautica app and actually ask for a location to explore. Now, as I said, Ronnie has an experience. And I can tell you this, Ronnie doesn't scare very easily. But that night that I got the phone call for him, I was scared. Not just for him, but I was just scared, period, because what he was experiencing so fit the pattern of what many YouTubers are experiencing when they use the Randonautica app at night. There is, I guess you could say, different steps to Randonautica. There's things called attractors, there is things called avoid, and things called anomalies. And I'm not going to get into the differences with each one. The Australian National University, that's what it is, provides Randonautica with the data it needs. So it started off basically just being a fun app. And it only got recognized basically for a very bizarre thing that happened with several young people were using the TikTok app. That is a site that um, many people upload videos to. They're short. They're only a few minutes long. And with school not being in many areas, many states, a lot of kids are on social media more. And so Randonautica and TikTok or Snapchat seem to go hand in hand. Well, in Seattle, Washington, several young people were led to a spot on a beach that really, I guess, was not used much, and they found a suitcase. Well, when they got closer to the suitcase, there was a terrible stench coming from it. So they realized that it probably was not food, because who's going to have food in a suitcase on a beach? So they called the police, and come to find out that randonauting led them to human remains in a suitcase, which is why I was so weirded out when I was going to Giant that day and I turned the corner, go in that alley, and there's that creepy black suitcase there. Luggage. Like, oh God, only me. I swear the universe loves to mess with me. I have said that for years. I firmly believe it. There's just been too many weird things have happened in my life, people close to me. My connections to so many people, directly, indirectly, is just bizarre. Totally crazy. So, yeah, seeing a suitcase, especially, this is how I found out about Randonautica. It came up on my newsfeed that these kids were using this app and this and that, and I was like, what? What is this? So, if you go on YouTube any day, you'll see several explorers, well-known explorers, have been using the app. Exploring with Josh, Steve Ronan, Exploring with Fighters, Proving Demons. He's in on it now because of Josh, and mostly because of Exploring with Fighters. Dark Arts TV, they're all together. Like right now, Josh is doing his thing. He did explore himself using it. He did one with Steve Ronan. So this app in and of itself is not bad, but there needs to be some common sense when using it, because there is definitely some darker undertones, which I don't believe the creator of the app intended or planned.
Okay, guys, as my mother previously mentioned in the intro to her video, she's been delving a little bit into the realm of what's become known as randonauting, which, if you're not familiar with it, is simply the action of going on the app Randonautica and going to locations and seeing what it is there that the ping that the app gives you has to show you. Now, I'd never heard of it until my mother mentioned it, I guess because she was, I don't, just as
TikTok, those kids on TikTok that found that body in Seattle.
Well, yeah, that's probably the biggest case I've heard about it, but just as she had things, so she has things she watches on YouTube. I have things I watch on YouTube, totally different realm, but I never heard of it until now. So, out of curiosity, I decided myself to download the app and to try it out. It comes off as a very harmless thing. Initially, the app just asks you to turn on location on your phone through Google so it can get an idea of where you are in comparison to where the servers that this app runs on, which is from Australia, is located. And it runs on the principle that it's your intention that determines the kind of location the app gives you. So if you think about love, or if you think about luck, or something along them lines, the ping that it gives you is going to be a location that's within your general, probably about maybe 10 to 20 mile radius. That is a point of interest in regards to whatever it is that you thought of. I decided the one night to try it out. I downloaded it. I put my GPS in and everything, and just for shits and giggles, I thought, ghosts. I wanna see ghosts. I wanna something to do with ghosts. Meeting the ghosts, meeting the dead, yada yada yada. And the ping that the app gave me was centered on a location not far from our house, because we live.
Didn't that have to do with your dad too, though?
Yeah.
Or was that Junedale?
That was Everville, but this is with the radio station. But
Oh yeah, okay.
But there's a radio station not far from us.
TV station, actually.
Stop. A TV station and radio station not too far from us called W Island 35. Now, if you're a native Hazletonian, you probably know what W Island 35 is. It's on Lion Court and 9th Street. I decided to check out the location, and hours leading up to it, I kept getting a very strange feeling and I told my mother this, as if I'm not going to encounter something. I'm going for something to encounter me. Which, if you think about it, is weird, because it's how would something already know that I'm there, or that I'm going to come there? Which brings me to the next part of my story. I'm walking up to a location, and with the location, having been a former TV station that's now defunct and shut down, there's no traffic there at all. There's no vehicles, and nothing. There might be vehicles there during the day, but I think it's more so just for people to keep the place maintained, so people aren't breaking into it, because it is technically shut down. It's abandoned. But at night, there usually shouldn't be vehicles there at all. No matter what time of the night it is, there shouldn't be vehicles at all there. And coming into the parking lot, I was greeted by a black vehicle sitting there in the parking lot with all of its lights off and windows tinted. I'm not good with cars. I'm not a car junkie. I don't speak car and driver. But from what little I do know of cars, it looked to be about a Mercedes. I couldn't tell a year. I couldn't tell a make or model, because upon seeing it, I just turned back around. I was like, nope, 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 not doing this.
And that's
Nope.
when you called
Nope.
me.
I called. Yeah, I called my mom, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm coming home, because there's a vehicle sitting here. And it started to get really, really creepy, because I'm walking down the street that this location sits on, and I round a corner onto another street, and no sooner do I do that, and I see the reflection of headlights coming down the street that I just was on, heading my way. I called my mom again and said to her, I'm being followed. Whatever vehicle it was I just saw, I'm being followed, so I'm going to go into the woods near here, and I'm going to squat down and sit down and hide and just shut the fuck up. So I did. And I waited for this vehicle to pass by me. I laid on the ground and everything. I had ants crawling on me, which didn't feel good. I can't stand things crawling on me at all, period. But I laid there. And I was on the phone with my mom the whole time, because I said to her, stay on the phone with me here, because if something happens, you have audible proof that something's happening. I was breathing heavy. I was scared on my mind. I'd never been so scared. Well, no, that's not true. It's not that I haven't ever been scared. I haven't been that scared in a while. And I've been to a lot of weird, freaky places, especially around here. But it drove past, went further a block, and turned up the street we live on. And I was essentially ducking and hiding to get home, because this vehicle seemed like it was circling around a 2-3 block radius looking for me. Like it knew I was still in the area. I got home, I told my mom what happened, and we turned all the lights off and locked the doors and everything, because it's like whoever this is now knows I'm in the area based upon my GPS and based upon the location that pinged relative to my GPS. When it comes to this app, I genuinely don't believe that it is intended for people to experience situations and scenarios like this. The app itself even warns, do not go to dangerous locations, do not go alone, do not go at night. Was I stupid in going alone? Yes, but me having lived in this town my whole life and having been to these locations such as that at night and even the woods around it at night, it's not unusual that I go to these locations at night because a lot of times I'm there. I'm there at night. I'm used to the locations are used to me. There's nothing scary about them at all. But this one time that I decided to go there, having used an app, and there's a vehicle sitting there, and I've never seen a vehicle sitting there ever at night, ever, up until now. Really?
And how quick did it take you to uninstall that app?
Very quick. That same night, I cleared my data out of the app and everything, out of my phone and everything. I installed it and I was just like, nope, I'm not. There was another scenario where I did a ping thinking about seeing my dad again. My dad's been long deceased, and it pinged me a location, if people are familiar in this area, in Ebervale, PA. And from what I do know, my dad has a little bit of history with Ebervale, Pennsylvania, and not for the good reason. And I looked at my mom, I said to her, why would it give me a location like that? Because as far as I know, my dad has no connection to Ebervale. It turns out my father may in fact have a connection. I'm not going to go into full detail about it. My mom can in another video, but my dad has a little bit of a dark reason behind why Ebervale might have popped up. Have I gone to that location yet? No, because after my whole experience with this first location, why the hell would I want to go to the second one? Day or night? Like, I encountered something really scary at night for the first one. Why would I go during the day or night for a second one? I'm not going at all. I don't care what the ping is. If people are going to use the app, my best advice to you is go during the day. Always go during the day. And if you do go, record where you are and what you are doing. Secondly, go with someone. Or be even better, go with a group, because there's always strength in numbers. There's no lie in that knowledge and advice at all. Third, if it's private property, if the ping is telling you to go to a private property, don't go on the private property. It doesn't matter.
No,
it's not worth it. It's considered trespassing, and legally, if the property owner feels entitled that you are someone that's trying to break into their property and they feel threatened, they can legally shoot you. You are trespassing on their property. They can and will, especially around here. And fourth, let me think here. Always Google and reverse search, if you can, the location that it's trying to tell you to go. Because a lot of times, location, like latitudes and longitudes can be reverse searched, and they will tell you the location of what it is you're going, especially on Google Maps or Google Earth. That'll give you literally an aerial picture and even a street view picture of where it is you're going. But a lot of places that I've noticed that this app is taking people to have history to them, and not always a good history. So anybody that is interested in using this app and wants to use it, that's my advice personally to you. So yeah, that's wraps up in a very simplified format my first experience with the app. Would I advise people to use it? Myself? No. you're never gonna see me use it again. Can I tell other people not to? That is up for individual discernment. I can't make that call, but I do know that my mom and me are never screwing around with it ever again. That much I can say for certain. So thank you guys very much for listening to my experience, and I hope you have a good night. Bye!
Yeah, I can tell you also, the night that Bronny called me, I thought before he left it was odd that he said he felt like something was waiting for him as compared to him going up there to wait for something. Now remember, he was focusing, his intent was ghosts, like paranormal. And you think about it, an empty, abandoned TV, radio station, offices would kind of be a good setting. His thing was just camping out in the parking lot for a little bit because it was supposed to be empty. There was no reason in any world why there should have been a dark vehicle with tinted windows, and they usually have no license plate. Every video so far that I have watched of different YouTubers going during the day and evening with this app, well, during the day, it's not that they see vehicles, but they often find footprints of wherever they are going. They often find footprints of somebody having left the area. So a lot of the general thinking is that there is another group of, I guess you could say, participants, people who essentially go and place these different items at different locations. But where that gets to be mind-boggling is there's people all around this world using this app and playing with it, and some people never find a darn thing. Other people find some of the creepiest, scariest things. Now, too, they say about focusing your intent. Well, from the videos that I have watched for like a week straight now, it seems to be that there is a possibility someone is listening through this app to your microphone. So some YouTubers using the app started just thinking, not saying out loud, what their intent is or writing it down. And if it's a group, passing it all around so everybody knows what to focus on, not talking about it. But even then, it gets weird. Exploring with Fighters, they were literally in a cemetery, starting off with their first Randonautica adventure. That's actually a big thing. If you download the app, do not start your search from your home residence, because right off the bat, your location, your home location, is visible. Your coordinates of where you live are right there. You may want to go a few blocks away from your home. You might want to go sit in a park. You might just want to go stand on some random corner. But you do not want to start your search from your home. Yeah, that's kind of like one strike against us because we didn't really know anything about it. And so Ronnie installed it here in the kitchen and proceeded to actually go into the app in the kitchen, which would explain why. And he waited about 2 hours before he left here to go up.
I waited about 5 hours. 5 hours.
No, it wasn't about 5.
Yeah,
I'd say
because it was 6, 7.
About 5? Okay, yeah, he's right. It was about 5 hours. So you figure somebody could have been there 5 hours, could have maybe stayed there for maybe like an hour or two just to see if he was ever going to show. But they knew where he was coming from, because I was literally looking out my back door here, and he said, you'll see the car, you'll see the lights coming by literally the fence alongside our building. So they were circling, they knew what way he was trying to get home. And that is what had me very, very worried. I was going to literally, like, bring my other phone and have both phones with me and literally have like 911 on speed dial. Because if anything creepy happened, or God forbid, if somebody like stopped him, or God forbid grabbed him or something, I had basically, you know what I mean, like 911 on speed dial. I was ready to just like throw my sneakers on, grab my other phone, and just have him meet me like at halfway mark.
Now, mind you, I'm somebody who, for the most part, is insomniac. I have trouble sleeping at night. I'll go walking around town at night, and I don't have an issue doing it. Like, nobody stops me, nobody says anything to me. Even Hazleton police that drive by don't stop me or ask me anything because they're used to seeing me now. They know that I have a sleeping issue and I walk around to, get tired. But even like late at night, walking around, I don't really get stopped much by anybody, if ever. So that experience to me is a blue moon occasion, like...
Very specific.
Yes, very specific, because, again, I grew up here, I've walked around this town thousands, millions of times at night, and I've never had an experience like that, ever. And my mother can attest that, because growing up, there's times I'd come home 3, 4 in the morning.
I walked around town in my life, too, as a teenager, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when I was like 15, 16 years old, by myself, with friends. I can't ever think of anything even creepy like that happening when I was a teenager. But at nighttime, the tone of this app seems to change.
A lot.
Yeah, it does seem to take on a darker twist. But now I noticed that when people think of darker things, like if their intent is, say, like death, depression, fear, whatever, it seems to give them exactly what they want. I watched a few videos where people found, it looked like a woman's shirt that looked like it had blood on it, and then in the back it said, "Don't be scared." They found like a child's hoodie, like maybe a toddler's hoodie, that looked like burnt in the back of it. It said, "Don't cry." Someone was, their pin was a garbage can at the end of a cemetery. And when they opened it up, they said it smelled absolutely terrible. It appeared to be empty, but it looked like there was blood at the bottom of the garbage can in a cemetery. So some found a bloody sock. I mean, it's quite possible that, as I said, maybe some dark web hackers seen an opportunity to get some, fun out of scaring the hell out of people. But then, too, there is a story going around on the internet that there is several girls missing, I believe from Seattle, Washington, that were randonauting during the day, and apparently they met some guy, and they were never seen again after that. I really did not dig a little further about that to see if that is actually true, or is that maybe just like a, campfire tale now because of the weird stuff going on with this app. Is this maybe like something, or is it really true? I didn't bother actually pursuing that. But as I said, if you have grandchildren or, nieces, nephews, whatever, odds are they probably know so much more about this app that you're just learning about now. So as I said, from watching enough videos the past week, trying to get a feel, like, okay, what is it going on with this crazy app? Because in theory, it sounds harmless. It sounds fun. And the only reason I mentioned it to him about it was I had thought, okay, like your days off of work, we could do this and maybe go to like a location or two and check it out, see, what you find. Because my intent would be, say, something like peace, nature, love,
and
money.
people have had positive experiences.
But now
with this
here's
app.
where it still can be creepy. Those kids, made famous now because they were doing a TikTok video, their intent was travel. That computer in Australia, literally,
ANU, it runs off of something called ANU.
yeah, University of Australia,
Yeah.
pinpointed that suitcase on that beach in Seattle. Suitcase, travel. But the problem is,
how is it going to pinpoint something so small?
There's a dead body in the suitcase. And the owner of the app, the creator of the app, was so horrified at what these kids discovered, he contacted them and spoke with them personally. I read this on the internet. He was absolutely horrified and just felt absolutely terrible that this happened to these kids. So, like I said, definitely when this person created this app, it was meant for fun, exploring in numbers safely during the pandemic.
And people have found a way to hack into this, I believe, and have turned it into a very dark, twisted thing.
Yeah,
because people like to ruin things for people.
Yeah, I honestly believe that there is maybe some really good dark web hackers who are, enjoying scaring people because they're brazen. I mean, I've watched some of these YouTubers that go to a location, find some bizarre thing, and that's when they realize they see somebody like running by bushes or a vehicle. I mean, these vehicles literally go by real slow. They record them in their YouTube videos. Whoever's driving these cars and that has no hesitation about just sitting there and staring them down.
Or that
you
they're
can't
being recorded.
see them, but you know that they're staring you down, and for all you know, they're recording you as much as you're recording them. No license plate numbers. That would explain why you don't see these vehicles during the day, because police are bound to be around maybe, and obviously will stop a vehicle who has no license plate number or license plate covered up. The one video I watched several nights ago, it was a blue vehicle, tinted windows, and literally all these YouTubers, a group of explorers, were recording this blue car. And the car just looked up, sat there for like a good 10 seconds, checking all of them out, which is why I think that someone is recording them, and then slowly drove on by. They don't speed away. They drive on by real slow. They are not the least bit intimidated that someone might jump in their vehicle and follow them. In a way, I wish a group of these YouTubers would take chase after one of these vehicles. As long as some YouTubers I know do, depending on where they are, some in the UK, some here in the US, some do carry a gun legally. And while I, most definitely would not want to see anything happen to anyone, maybe it is high time that a few people follow someone and check it out and let them know we're not intimidated. Who are you and what are you doing? It could all be innocent, but considering some of the things people find that make your blood chill, I don't think so. So, some folks commenting on these videos came up with a few suggestions to make it safer for people. The one video I watched, this one sub said, never go alone. Day or evening, go with friends, or have an adult, like if you're, a teenager, have an adult go with you. Older brother, older sister, neighbor, cousin, whatever. Somebody older that is, at least older. Make sure that you do not install the app. Well, if you install the app on a good phone, have a burner phone. Copy and paste the coordinates that the app is trying to send you to into a burner phone. Because by putting those coordinates into a burner phone, you can safely go and check it out. The app is not on that phone. And that way you'll be able to figure out if there is anything goofy going on, because you're not being traced then. that app isn't on that phone. So that was a good suggestion. Number 2 is make sure you have like pepper spray with you. Make sure another person, not part of your group, knows where you are, that you let them know the points that it's taking you to, because then, God forbid, if, nobody hears from this group of kids or people or doesn't hear from you, if they call your cell phone and they cannot get through and have the least bit of suspicion that, God forbid, something isn't cool, they can call 911 and they know where you last were. Another thing, too, is this debate of whether or not people should or shouldn't take things when they find them. Now, this one explorer found money under a rock. Well, if your manifestation, your intent was money, it would make sense you would take it. One lady I watched, her and her daughter found, and this was really weird, a bag of very old silver flatware, like good silver flatware. Very old design, very old style. And it was in like a freezer bag, a gallon freezer bag. And it had some woman's name on it. The writing had been very faded on the bag. So it's not that they thought that the bag had been sitting out for a while. But when this woman and her daughter were walking in to the point that the app gave them, the girl's daughter noticed footprints coming out, which meant someone had obviously been at that same location earlier, ahead of them. So it does have a creepy component to it. It really does. Now, exploring with Josh, he found some kind of a structure. He found a fire pit and a doll. His was pretty harmless, but, again, there are people I see on the internet say that they've used this app 9-10 times and have not found anything. It does, for some reason, like to take people into wooded areas, and that I find creepy. Because let's be honest, guys, nowadays you just can't be too careful. And what better way for, potential serial killers or stalkers, whatever, to trap someone is get them into a location that they have never been before. And a wooded area is like absolutely positively perfect, So, I certainly wouldn't say to someone, don't use it. I think if you use it safely and use it responsibly, it could probably be interesting. Again, they say it uses quantum mechanics and focusing on your intent, that the people who tend to focus on more positive things have a more positive experience. So I don't know. But just keep it in mind. So if you're talking to your grandkids and they mention Randonautica, red flag guys, ask them. Grill them a little bit. Ask them, do they go in a group? Are they using a burner phone? Just certain things that they can keep themselves safe while having some fun. Well, guys, I know I gave you a little bit of an education and probably creep many of you out with Ronnie's experience, but his experience is pretty much typical of people who use this app at night. So keep this in mind. As I said, if you guys have grandkids fooling around with it, maybe nieces, nephews, maybe say even a neighbor's kids fool around with it, don't be afraid to talk to them about it. But also, don't be afraid to ask them if they are keeping themselves safe while they are using it. Well, guys, I hope you find this video informative, and if you like it, please give it a big thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great evening. Good night.
Good night, guys.
See you on the next one. Bye.